Ministry of Wrestling podcast. Do you know what I think about the Ministry of Wrestling podcast? It's my favorite podcast and I'm yet to listen to it. One day I will listen to it. That's the deal, right? So right now, if you're looking at my bald head and you're not listening to the Ministry of Wrestling podcast, I'm ashamed of you. I'm disappointed in you. You've made me sad. And the only way you can sort this out is by listening to
the Ministry of Wrestling podcast.
Do it now and subscribe. And do other things with the thing.
Hey yo, how you doing? It's 2/5 of them boys, so you know what that means. We're here. It's me, the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
Double V, the Viceroy of Verisimilitude. Am I going to talk about verisimilitude today, AJ?
Can I just say, before we go into any verisimilitude or anything, it feels like a while. It feels like a while. There have been many ministry shows, don't get me wrong, but it feels like a while since the silver screen dudes have done a wrestling show. I'm just saying.
It does. This is wrong. Hang on. Hold that thought.
I'm going to let him do what he needs to do. But yeah, there are many incarnations. You've seen the AJ and Big Tone. You've seen the Big Tone and Double V. But when's the last time you've seen AJ and Double V? Yeah. You're gonna say, "Oh, prediction show." Booyah! There we are. We're doing it.
I'll be real. The OG's in the house today.
Whoa, yeah. When there was a British DX, Dolph Ziggler, and British Bulldog music. If you know, you know.
We need to talk about Dave Meltzer today, AJ.
Who? Yeah. Yes. Who we may be meeting soon. And he touches wood. Okay. Yes.
If we can get him on the channel, all for that.
Oh. Anyway. One. I once recall someone saying pride comes before the fall, so I'm not going to be an arrogant. Anyway. Yeah.
Look, I think we need to contextualize this by saying opinions are opinions. Meltzer's opinions are no more valid than anyone who posts in his comment section. But as I say with a lot of things, because he's been doing this so long, there's an argument to be made that they're possibly more informed. But I know that his takes annoy a hell of a lot of people, which is kind of part of the fun. Call him the heel wrestling journalist. He put a video out recently which we're going to play in a moment, where he questioned, is Will Ospreay better than Cody Rhodes? And I made the grave mistake of diving into the comments section on that video. And some of the things I saw is what I need to talk about today. But let me play up this video for you first, because it is a thing that is just great. Because it's going to trigger people something rotten. But here you go. I kept thinking,
what you say, compare him to Cody. And obviously, bell-to-bell wrestler, he's much better than Cody. But you know what? It's like Cody's super, super, super over, and Cody's a very good talker. But I really felt that Ospreay's got more charisma than Cody. Now, Cody's a million times more over because of the exposure he's had the last couple of years. But it's like, as far as like complete package and everything like that, and he's 8 years younger, I believe, than Cody. And look at all the business that Cody has driven for them. And they have a chance to get a guy who's a better wrestler, 8 years younger. Kept thinking like, well, what
and that's it. It's a little segment. There's a lot to unpack here, because it's the term wrestler, isn't it? That's obviously but he's very smart here, because he has purposefully muddied the waters by saying he did specify in the video bell-to-bell wrestler. Don't think you can really argue that Ospreay is the better bell-to-bell wrestler compared to Cody. And yet people did. People saying Ospreay's a spot monkey. Ospreay just goes in trying to kill himself. Ospreay doesn't have the charisma or psychology that Cody has. Now, is Ospreay a bit of a spot monkey? Hell yeah. Is Ospreay guilty of doing some things where you literally think, why are you trying to die, bruv? Yes, absolutely, he's guilty of these things. It makes it entertaining to watch. But when people say Ospreay hasn't got ring psychology, or I'm like, I'm sorry. When I hear that, it just makes me, it really makes me, and this is just the first of many points, and we can start with this one and then we can go on to the other points. But when people say Will Ospreay hasn't got ring psychology, it genuinely makes me question, how many Will Ospreay matches have you watched that haven't been in the last 3 weeks? Like, now he's on an AEW show. Did you watch Ospreay versus Michael Oku at Rev Pro? The psychology in that was insane. Please go give.
This is where I have to interject
for time, but
I had to interject because people call Spot Monkey. Now, the question I was going to ask you before, like prematurely cutting you off there, was we could talk Spot Monkey because people could say that spot, that spot, that spot. However, we've seen him 3 times live. Turning Point? Yes, 4 times. Yes, of course. Funny enough, I forgot All In. But quote those 4 matches and tell me what spot he went for.
Cheeky Nando.
So, in the same vein that The Rock's a spot monkey then for dropping the people's elbow.
So thank you. You get where I'm coming from with this.
But I'm going to say this on a level of respect to you when I say this. I have been in a lot of conversations with wrestling fans, but wrestlers as well. Okay?
Yeah.
And this isn't horn tooting. This is facts.
Look on the channel. Look on the channel.
There's not a wrestler who's been interviewed that I've not been in on. Right? It's fact. Like there are levels of wrestlers. Maybe you want to call that. Oh, who cares? Yeah,
I see what you did there. There are levels.
Do you know what? I didn't even mean to, but it happened.
Well
This is it. But irrelevant of which way you want to see it, I respect the hell out of him because, as I said in an interview coming up with Corey McRae in the next few days, I think around, anyone who stepped in the ring has my respect because I'm just on the couch and I'm not ready to feel that pain. That's level 101 of it. The amount of people who have sang Will Ospreay's praises, people who, when we say, we have Beyond the Ring, Dream Opponent, Ospreay, people who are in the business saying Ospreay is the best in the world right now. And I can't help but just say, you can't not see it. I've respected Will Ospreay around for a while, but my New Japan isn't as invested as it is. Me and wrestling, believe it or not, I'm at every wrestling show, but my wrestling on TV isn't there as much as I'd like it to be. However, seeing this guy perform time and time again, you can't help but get mesmerized by his matches. And it's no surprise that when Impact were in the UK, not that just because he's from the UK, because Tony Khan could have done that, but he didn't. He was the main event. Okay? This is what we're talking about. He just delivers. When Impact became TNA and he had a chance to be TNA, him and Josh Alexander tore it down.
Yep.
His main event, even Rev Pro, what we thought was his last match was a grudge match.
We can list keeping it.
But do you get what I'm trying to say? This is the level of wrestler, and I'm not going any further than that. So I don't get the spot monkey.
The last no, exactly. The spot monkey thing is ridiculous. Saying for exactly the same reasons that the guy has got no in-ring psychology. It's fallacy. Like, watch the Michael Oku match. What he did, the biggest UK babyface, for the benefit of the company, went full heel, and he did it well. And he did it in a way that had audiences eating out of his hand on every single step he took. You can't achieve that if you do not have God level in-ring psychology. So that in itself is a joke. Is his promo game as good as Cody's? In my opinion, no. But has his promo game got a hell of a lot better? Hell yeah. But it comes back to this overriding feeling. And I just invite you to go and look at the comments section. We will have linked this Dave video down below. Some of the incoherent madness from people on both sides. I'm not saying it's just WWE people doing this. It's like you got the freaking AEW fans, of which I am one of them. I like all wrestling. You've got the AEW fans on one side who are saying that F Cody, F Cody, F Cody. I'm like, you wouldn't exist without Cody. How can you say that? But then equally, you've got the WWE fans on the other side going, long live Cody, F WWE. I'm like, you wouldn't have this Cody if it weren't for AEW. This Cody is not your product. Your product was Stardust. Let's keep it real. And then all it comes down to, you know, Dave brought this up in the video, and he said, obviously he's not as over as Cody, but that's because Cody's getting massive exposure. Dave addressed that in the video, but people lost their mind about this. I'm like, you can't, you know, you have to be in the biggest company in order to be over. I'm like, no, you have to be in the biggest company in order to be over for that company's fan base. Sorry, it's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, if you don't watch something, you freaking Cody Rhodes could be the best wrestler in the world. I don't think he is, but let's say Cody was as good and better than Ospreay as the comment section is suggesting. If people don't watch WWE, how can that person be over for them? It's not possible. It's all relative. If you are in WWE, you are over with a WWE crowd. If you are in AEW, as in the case of Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay is over as hell with the AEW crowd. If you are Zack Sabre Jr., you are over as hell with the New Japan crowd. Josh Alexander, over as hell with the TNA crowd. Michael Oku, over as hell with the Rev Pro crowd, after the Will Ospreay match especially. But these are just facts, bro. If you watch one promo, you focus on how much a wrestler is over within that promo. You can't say because he's over in WWE, that means he's over, period. But that's what the comment section is suggesting. And to me, it's the biggest case of madness I've ever seen, because it's like, unless you're in the biggest company, therefore you're not good. It's like, okay, so by that logic, McDonald's is the best food on the planet. By that logic, Transformers, which each grossed over $1 billion, is one of the best movie franchises ever. Bigger doesn't equal better. Longer matches don't equal good matches. Food chains don't equal good food. Blockbuster movies don't necessarily equal good movies. Big blockbuster wrestling, though it can be great, let's not be under any illusion. I love me some WWE, but big blockbuster wrestling doesn't equal the best wrestling just because it's big. So to say, oh, because Cody has got more exposure in WWE, therefore he's more of a period. BS. BS of the highest degree. Your thoughts?
My problem is, and don't get me wrong, it's always existed, but when did tribalism in wrestling get this bad?
Oh, it's bad.
No, because let's call a spade a spade. Back in the day, you could be, look, I've said it time and time again, I'm not going to repeat it. We all know what I say my DNA is, what my blood type is. However, in my era of growing up, just because I like Brett didn't mean I didn't know who the hell Sting was. Okay? You could say it's a lower level, what have you, because you prefer a certain person, one you are more invested in and more attracted to in that professional sense. Please, let's not get it wrong. What I think by that. But like, what I'm getting at is, we all know that's why Forbidden Door is so over, because it's your fantasy of the best versus the best. Who in the Attitude Era didn't want to see Stone Cold look Goldberg dead in the eyes? Who wasn't excited at the prospect? Like, you could talk about, oh, this one's not over, but then why was everyone so excited?
Sting versus Undertaker, for Christ's sake.
Thank you, but why was everyone excited at AJ Styles coming out? The only wrestler in the history of the Royal Rumble that was kept a surprise when their theme music came on. It was focused on who? Roman Reigns, the WWE's biggest thing, with this look of shock of who's coming, because it was such a momentous moment. Go to Box Park just when we were there just the other day. Why is everyone losing their crap that Jordan Grace is coming out? Yeah. Why NXT using Sean Spears as opposed to.
Hang on.
Perfect
Let's
10.
make it relevant to this video. Why are people losing their freaking mind when Cody debuted 3 years ago at Mania 37? That's an AEW guy. That's the AEW guy.
Like, this is the thing about
And y'all are
tribalism.
losing your mind for him and now being like, oh, it's our guy. But it's not.
This is
He
what
is your
bugs
guy
me.
now, no doubt. And he's fantastic. I love Cody Rhodes. Should have beat
But this
Roman
is
at
what
Mania
bugs me
39.
with the tribalism, because for all the F Kennys, for all the F the Bucks, you will be gassed as crap if they sign,
Exactly.
right? For
This is-
every like this is, and do you know what I prayed for? And I wait to pull up the video, the post. Let Goldberg sign with AEW. Everyone who said he was over the hill, because everyone who said the big slow, the big that and the other, the minute Paul White walked out, they're all over everyone's laughing and loving it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I know.
If Goldberg came to AEW, I wouldn't pop. I really wouldn't pop. Bro, I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh no.
Booked in the right situation. You'd be
That's the
surprised.
problem. I don't trust Tony Khan to book big guys.
Listen, Goldberg just needs the one match. It just needs something where United Empire are doing whatever they're doing. Wardlow, the world's biggest or something, and you just
You
get
mean
that one
Undisputed
spin.
Kingdom, yes?
Whatever they're called. No. Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, Cole's failed stable, yes.
Yeah, like, but you get what I'm trying to say. It just takes that one thing of no one can beat the big man, and you just hear that dum, 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 dum. You're gonna have a little Goldberg. You're gonna be like, I can't believe Goldberg's there. But it's the same as everyone said it with The Rock. The Rock's over the hill. It's done. Now everyone's saying you're welcome. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Don't even get started.
Irrelevant of your feelings of it, but we're going by the mass consensus. Do you understand where I'm going with this? And this is where wrestling fans need to check themselves. Like, it's weird. You can be the biggest Sasha Banks fan, but you hate Mercedes Moné. Where are we going with this, guys?
It's so weird. And bro, honestly, guys, I invite you. The video is going to be linked in the description. Please go and look at some of the comments in this. There are literally people. I'll bring the names up if I have to. They are saying,
just find it. Just scroll. There's no need to. Yeah.
They are saying Gunther is great. This is a thing. I saw this and I argued with this. Gunther's chops are the best in the business. Hard to argue that. There are people who I think have got underrated chops who should be held on the same level, Jay White. But it's hard to argue against Gunther's chops. It really is. Then the same person says, "Look at the chops in AEW." And I'm like, but a chop's a chop. Like, what chop? Gunther has good chops, yes, but what are you looking for in your chop? And they're like, yeah, they take turns hitting each other. I'm like, so a chop, it's a chop. And I'm like, if you want, and then I added, I'm like,
now
if you really want hard Gunther level chops, go and watch Japanese strong style. And they're like, oh, what, that Eddie Kingston stuff? I'm like, oh, kill me, please kill me slowly. Actually, no, kill me quickly. You think Eddie Kingston is the hallmark of Japanese strong style? And then this mother flubber, dude. I got into one with him and he started sending me This is true. It's on the chat. He sends me Katsuyori Shibata versus Bryan Danielson from Collision this last week. I'm like, you utter plonker. Do you think that because a Japanese guy's in it, it automatically makes it strong style? Shibata's more Ring of Honor than he is New Japan anyway. But like, the ignorance, the desire to argue just for the sake of it. And then the guy says to me, well, who do you recommend? I'm like, go and watch Minoru Suzuki and Tomohiro Ishii and then come and talk to me. And then he's like, I don't know who those people are. I'm like, so why are you talking? If you don't know what you're talking about, shut up.
The thing about I say this and I say this. The thing about wrestling, and I say this chronically, you don't have to watch every product. I don't watch every product. I catch highlights of every product. I don't watch every product. You can have something that appeals to you. But as a wrestling fan, you should appreciate that there's others out there. I can hear echo.
No,
Okay.
Let me take it up another level, because I agree with everything you've just said. Don't let my comments be misinterpreted that I'm somehow better than you because I watch New Japan and TNA. Not the case. But don't front like you know what you're talking about if you don't watch the product. That's what inherently annoys me. And that kind of circles it back to the point of this video, because you have these false narrators, these false bloody commentators in the comment section going, yeah, New Japan this because Eddie Kingston. Nope. Or you've got Will Ospreay doesn't have any ring psychology. Nope. Not opinion, just a fact. And the fact of the matter isn't I'm right, you're wrong, although that's a fact. The fact of the matter is you obviously have not watched this. I'm not about, listen, freaking Chelsea Football Club right here. It's embarrassing to be a Chelsea fan at the moment. I'm not about to go into a deep dive with you this season on the Champions League. You know why? Because we ain't in it. Don't come at me with comments like New Japan is this, Will Ospreay is this, because then when you make these comments, which are so factually incorrect, it just makes you look like an utter plonker, and it makes the whole tribalism thing grow. If you want to say, hey, man, it kind of sucks we didn't get Will Ospreay, but hey, we got Cody Rhodes, so F everyone. Kind of hard to argue against that point. Cody is the most over guy in the wrestling business at the moment. But then talking of over, saying, oh, he's more over than Ospreay because of exposure. That line of thinking is incorrect. Bigger doesn't equal better. McDonald's is not better than Joel Robuchon or Gordon Ramsay. There's more of them. They make more money.
There's a few things that Dave said that I can't help but agree with. Will Ospreay is factually younger than Cody Rhodes. He has more chance to grow. There's a chance to make his name go that bit further.
All hard.
What? Will Ospreay's name to go further than Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, very hard. When you consider what Cody's done for the business, that's crazy hard.
Okay, it's not what you've done for the business; it's what your name does. Like, you could be many people. Like, I'm not knocking AJ, but are we going to say AJ? Well, he did actually, but there are names that are big that haven't changed the game. Let's take Randy Orton. Randy Orton was huge in the game. What's he done to change the game?
Nada.
Right. So you're going to tell me now that in 5 years, 6 years, Will Ospreay, as big as he is in AEW, puts those initials, puts that ink on the paper under a Paul Levesque, and he's the one now headlining WrestleMania 45.
He won't.
Look
at Ricochet.
Ricochet's Ricochet. Ricochet is not the biggest talked about star in that field. Even when he was signed,
5 years ago. Let's forget.
We have to be real of the pocket of society. He was a big name and it was a big signing, but it wasn't the biggest. Finn Balor was still bigger than him. Prince Devitt was categorically bigger than Ricochet at the time.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you look at it, and had it not been for an injury, under the Vince rule, it's weird that an injury could just finish you. I'll Dolph Ziggler, you know? Now, you take someone like Will Ospreay. No, but fact is fact. You take someone like Will Ospreay with the right promotion. Look at the hype machine that is Jade Cargill, and all she's had is a Rumble appearance. Yeah?
Right.
And that, with the highest respect, is green as hell. A seasoned veteran like Will Ospreay under the WWE banner and produced rightly could be the next biggest star. Like, it's not often that people are going to say this is the biggest name since the British Bulldog, and this is what's been happening here. No one's ever mentioned that before when it came to British wrestling, and this is where I'm trying to go to. Everything is available with the right production and right machine behind you. Yes, AEW is the second company. It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. You're completely right.
He's come in and he's just made a mark, and it's just like contender after contender. That's what the world wants from him. They can't wait for it. People are talking about his all-in appearance already. No one else has ever said, like, let's be honest, Adam Copeland, Daniel Bryan, all of these other signings, no one's ever predicted their main event at a point. They're like, maybe, can you imagine that match? But for their main event, who gets them? We've had fantasy matches.
No.
Will
No,
Ospreay
the biggest fantasy thing to come from Copeland has obviously been Copeland Okada, because that was just because it's so obtuse to think that that could be a
But
possibility.
it's a fantasy booking of a match. Everyone's like, Ospreay's guaranteed to be headlining All In, but who? That's where we're going. That's how big he is.
Swerve, which by the way would be a bangerang. Swerve Ospreay.
It's not going to happen. I'm sure I'm calling it now. But do you see where
You
I'm
don't
going?
think it's happening?
Not at All In. No.
No?
Different conversation for a different time.
Okay.
I'll just be real. It's not. Swerve has got a year to go. Swerve has got a year to go before he's champion.
I will call it right now. Minute 25 of the show. Swerve Strickland is going to beat Joe at the next pay-per-view for the title.
Okay. You sit on that hill. Just remember MJF, yeah? Cool. Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. It's fine. Yeah. It'll be after Mania. The points don't matter to me then. I've got enough time to rebuild. But what I'm getting at is Will Ospreay. Let's be honest. If you're a huge fan of Cody Rhodes and you love the Cody Cutter, I can tell you where it comes from. Cody said it multiple times. If he's been in a match multiple times with a person, he'll take their move. The Cody Cutter is from the Oz Cutter. It's not that. Just like I had to accept that Bret Hart stole the Scorpion Deathlock from Sting. I didn't know that. Had to learn and accept. But these are minor points. It's what you have to do is look at the level of entertainment a star gives you, not the brand they're signed to, guys. Like, again, I'm going to go with this whole Mercedes thing. Everyone's looking at the numbers and XYZ. Oh, she's got the lowest ratings. Cool. She's also the highest paid female. So how do we balance that out of who she is?
Yeah.
You know, it's the appreciation and the level of quality that they bring. Now, does Cody bring a certain something to the ring? Hell yeah. Is he the biggest name? Is he the biggest name in WWE right now?
Hell yeah.
Second biggest name, because someone's come out of retirement and is just all over the internet. But it is what it is. But it's all in the building of Cody Rhodes, because when Cody raises that belt, it's that, you know. Now, the same has to be looked at with Will Ospreay. The guy has just stepped foot in this company. He's not had a title match. He's not guaranteed to main event All In like we are saying. He's just started. His 2 matches are against the Don Callis family. 2 guys that really aren't in a conversation, if we're going to be real. Who talks about Takeshita outside of an AEW world? Outside of the AEW world? Who talks about Kyle Fletcher outside of the AEW world? Okay, Mark. You get what I'm going.
Completely.
No, but I'm just saying, this is where we're going. Outside of those, people can't talk to you about those. But there is a comparison here, and you're all ready to jump on it and be like, you can quote stuff about Will Ospreay. Why? Because you know who he is. He's made him up. The same way you didn't have to watch TNA, but knew who AJ Styles was.
Yeah. Do you know what it kind of stinks of to me, bro? You hit the nail on the head earlier when it was like, it would be different if he'd signed for WWE. It would all be like, it just stinks of sour grapes. I'm like, the fact that people can attempt to bury him, and burying something because you got sour grapes is fine. Hell, I've buried things, a lot of WWE things, when I've thought they were terrible. Still to be proven wrong about that, but that's fine. The thing that I can't wrap my head around is, as you've called it, it's the tribalism, which the byproduct of that is the lack of logic. He doesn't have in-ring psychology. Then you haven't watched his matches for the last 18 months. It's just a fact, because you can't objectively watch those matches and say he doesn't have in-ring psychology. He's just a spot monkey. Why? Because he does his moveset. So every wrestler ever. He's 8 years younger than Cody. He's over as hell. He's not over as hell because he's not in WWE. Blah. It's like, okay, so he's over as hell with the AEW crowd. Yeah, but that don't matter. They're the second biggest wrestling company in the world. Yeah, but that don't matter. Do you see how this is a redundant conversation?
But
it's painful.
But in the same breath, if we're going to play the numbers game, he was in Wembley. Just saying. And I'm the WWE guy. Now, here's the question. Let's kind of take it home here. Categorically, irrelevant of the tribes, and we're not talking tribal chief when we say this, irrelevant of Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
Let's put it down to 2 members of the ministry right now. Mr. WWE, Mr. AEW, right? It's as clear cut as it is. Let's ask the question. Let's break it down. We'll go through it on charisma, points, and what have you, based the same way as Dave does. And we'll just say who we believe is the winner. 5 simple points. In-ring moveset. I go Ospreay.
Ospreay.
This is where I think we're going to differ. Mike skills.
Cody.
I actually have enjoyed what I've heard from Ospreay. He's not said
I've
as much.
enjoyed what I've heard from Ospreay, but he's not as
said
good
as
as
much.
Cody.
Not as much, but I'm going Ospreay. So that's 2 there. And this is the WWE guy.
Cody.
Entrance, charisma. That I would give to Cody.
Yeah, Cody. Cody.
Even though they both got banging theme songs, I'm going to give both of those.
Elevate is a banger, but Kingdom is too much of an important song. It has too much depth to it. You can't. Kingdom and Cody.
Match diversity. I think
Ospreay any day of the week. Are you crazy?
Which is essentially ring psychology, because Ospreay could do the high flying stuff and he could do the ground technical stuff, which I've seen him do both.
And a hard hitting, strong style. Like, did you see that Gabe Kidd match? Oh,
did you see his last cage match?
You get me. You see his backy afterwards, right? It was great.
So that's 4. I can't think of a 5th. I can't think of, mind you, even if I went for finisher, I think I prefer the hidden blade than I do the
Eye of the Storm is sick.
Yeah. If we're going to talk trademark moves, now it's Oscar and Cody, which are the same thing, right? Then you've got the disaster kick and you've got the hidden blade. I prefer the hidden blade. And Eye of the Storm versus what's it? Crossroads. Once again, I'm going for Eye of the Storm.
Yeah.
So this is a WWE guy, and Will Ospreay's ticked everything. And I'm not knocking Cody. I'm happy to see Cody doing what Cody's done. I like it when a man can prove.
Do you know where I would give the edge to Cody? And you may think it's a dead stat. Here's an AW guy saying it, showing you I can be impartial. I hope you'll agree with the sentiment that every wrestler kind of wants to leave, having left the business in a better position they found it in, right? The greats want to do that. Sting did it. Hogan did it. Rock did it. Taker did it. All the greats, Cena did it. All the greats left the business better than where they found it. Cody's already done that. For all of the tribalistic BS that comes with the creation of AEW, by creating another company, the rising tide raises all ships, man. So Vince is gone. Triple H has had to step up. And do I think Triple H is vastly overrated as a booker?
Different conversation.
Different conversation. Is it better than what we were seeing before? Yeah. With Cody's existence, Kingdom Cody, post Codyverse, the scope, the landscape of professional wrestling is a better place, and he has arguably single-handedly been the catalyst for that. It's crazy what he's done.
We have to be respectful of what it is. Okay, AEW is the Super Indies, but look at what who the Super Indies have just signed and who that guy has been. This guy went on a tour. He left Rev Pro way better. Like, I'm not, with the highest of respect, and I've not got the biggest Rev Pro history, but I know I went to Rev Pro for something. And let's be real, AJ Styles has been there and I didn't even know. AJ Styles was dirt cheap and I didn't even know. Will Ospreay elevated, no pun intended, the UK British scene.
Of course he did.
Will Ospreay made a mark on Impact and TNA. In the openings of TNA, that was one of their first main events to show what they're about.
Yeah.
And he's now gone to this company. Okay, he's not put, dare I say, where he left New Japan. He left it in a very good place. I know Kenny talked about, I left it in a place and you dropped the ball. I'm not going to say that he left it in a crap spot. I think New Japan is in a very good place after Will Ospreay.
I think Kenny was very lucky that he left New Japan in a place where he had an heir apparent. The problem which Will and both Will and Kazuchika Okada have left New Japan. Is there's no one to really fill those shoes because they are such big shoes to fill. Next in line is obviously Zack Sabre Jr. But we're not here yet. We're not there yet with Zack.
But
Not
neither was Ospreay when Kenny left. Think of it, and pay attention to it now. Listen to the line Kenny left, Ospreay, 2 years ago? I left it in your hands and you couldn't fill my boots. And that's when he came back and became Kenny the Collector. Can't say that crap now. You wouldn't dare utter those words to Will Ospreay now. So give it time. Give it time. Now, I'm not overhyping.
I'll say this. Here's why I'll give it to Ospreay. More match of the year factory and dream match worthy. There aren't many wrestlers in the world where I would say, I would love to see Cody Rhodes wrestle them. I don't really care.
But here's the thing. Dare I say Cody's probably done it already. That's the problem. Because when Cody was away, Cody took
and you know what? And he did it when he had that horrible moniker of 3-star Cody following him around.
I don't know. That was very AEW. New Japan, Ring of Honor, Cody had a lot going on, but no one paid attention.
Post Codyverse, Cody into WWE fans saying, "What's the Codyverse?" Research it. It's very good. Post Codyverse, Cody in New Japan, pre-belt being thrown at him, Cody was a little bit guilty of the 3-star.
But it's all been done by then. You can't blame him. It's all been done. If it's been done, it's been done.
Does Will Ospreay operate on any other gear than 5th gear?
Yeah, but look, the thing is,
the guy's a beast, man.
The reason
people, who's your pick? Ospreay or Cody?
Ospreay.
Yeah, Ospreay.
But that's not Brit tribalism either. It's just who's excited me. I've seen both guys live, but it's just what it is. The only thing
Cody is biggest match live.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say is I wouldn't say fantasy match because everyone's going to say, but who's a bigger fantasy than The Rock? Who's the bigger one than Roman Reigns with his longevity title?
Every wrestler. Again, big numbers are big.
Yeah, but do you get what I'm trying to say? That's why I wouldn't do fantasy match. But who has put on matches that has made me go, Cody's not delivered that to me. And that
he hasn't. Cody still remains 3-star Cody in terms of his match quality. He gets you to feel raw emotions, such as his brilliance of in-ring psychology. Cody's very good at giving you the feels. But in terms of setting the world alight and having every single corner of the internet talking before, as Dave said at the top of the video, bell-to-bell wrestling, Ospreay is the best in the world. And here's where we close it. Every single wrestler that we've spoken to, be it Chris Bay, Alicia Edwards, Danny Luna, Naomi, aka Trinity Fatu, what have they all said when they spoke to us? No one's close to Will.
The UK scene has said the same thing.
Naomi is literally married to the bloodline. And she has looked us in the face and said, Naomi has looked us in the face and said, no one's even close to Will.
But I'm not going to be... I know Will... Cody does the politician stuff. He shakes hands, he hugs people, and he kisses babies. I get that. But Will Ospreay is more charismatic to me. He's got the edge. He's got the kind of thing that, as a wrestling fan, you want that kind of edge. I'm just being real.
He's a cheeky geezer. I love him. And I think people really need to stop painting him with the same brush that they unfairly painted Kenny Omega. Because that brush is just something that y'all heard from Jim Cornette, who doesn't like Kenny's style. Jim Cornette's allowed to not like Kenny's style. Kenny Omega is one of the best ever.
I'm not going to get into it. The breakdowns of Cornette's pods, I actually do enjoy. I've not
listened to Michael Sidgwick at What Culture. He's very good. He's equally cynical. He's brilliant.
But I'm just putting it out there to people because I know everyone's going to light up, and if you stay to this point, then you're valid to comment. Not that anyone's not before. Break it down. How many of each of them have you seen, and who is your choice? There is no wrong answer. There is no wrong answer. I just want to know from fair, biased unbiased, should I say, wrestling fans.
There's no such thing.
The
only two unbiased wrestling fans in the world are right here in this pod.
I've met some good
Nah,
people.
WWE guy, AEW guy. I gave Cody more points and he gave Ospreay more points. How's that for your logic there? Stick that in your tribal algorithm and smoke it.
There you go. But here
End
we go,
it, bro. Take it home.
Thank you very much. Just comment below. Let us know. Tell your people to tell your people. The ministry's where it's at. Ever growing. People are saying these t-shirts are everywhere. They're hating for it. No, I love you guys really. But no, all about it. Ministry of Wrestling on your Instagram, your Facebook, and your YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. On the X, good old MOW News. And we will see you very soon. Check out some of our interviews. See ya.
Double V out too. See ya.